Before you come to beg on the door, forgive me, Delilah, I just couldn't take anymore.
Elliot from the Bear Pit TV and Paul Lambert was today unveiled as the Stoke City manager, following on from the 3-0 loss at Manchester United last night where he was a spectator. We obviously lost that game 3-0, but there was a lot of positive signs to take from that. We were a lot more vibrant, a lot more energetic, and of course I think the shining light from that game was a new signing, right back Moritz Bauer, who looked very pacey, very attacking, and he linked up with Shaq very well down that right hand side, and I think he looks like a positive buy. It is only one game in, but he did look very good, and hopefully he can kick on from there. He looked a bit tired towards the end, but he's back into a new league, hasn't played for a number of weeks or so because the Russian league ends early, and I'm really impressed with that signing so far. It's only been one game, but I'm really hoping he can kick on and looks like a top buy. We even had a fair few chances in the game. Ireland had some early on, if it was maybe a bit more match ready, that's the first Premier League game he started in 20 months, he could have put those away. He had a couple of chances, and obviously there was right at the end, Mamadou had two bites of the cherry, couldn't put it past De Gea, unfortunately, but we did take the game to Man United. We did have chances, and it wasn't all negative. It wasn't one of those usual 4-0, 3-0, 5-0 losses away from home that we're so used to. We actually were in the game for large periods, so that's something and a positive to take. But today Paul Lambert had his press conference. He was very upbeat and positive. He said, "For me, other people linked with the job didn't bother me. I've been this club many a time and it's a fantastic place. It didn't matter if I was the 15th choice, I'm delighted to be here." He said, "I'm 100% sure that we have enough to stay up. The club shouldn't be in the position that we were in, and if we can get togetherness with the team as well as fans backing, we should be fine." There was also a good 20 to 30 minutes of the fans chanting Paul Lambert's Barmy Army. We were loud and proud last night. The fans were an absolute credit to themselves, absolutely outstanding. Watching it on TV, people could not hear anything but the Stoke fans for the majority of the game, and it was a credit to our support. And here's a clip from them last night. Lambert was questioned about this, what he thought about the chanting in this press conference, and he jokingly said that he started it off. So, he showed more banter in one press conference already than Mark Hughes did in a 4-year reign. Now we have Jack and Chris Reeve from Talk Norwich City to give us a little more insight on Paul Lambert and what we can get used to, because they obviously had him as manager for a long period at Norwich City and they love the guy. So here they are to tell us a lot more.
Hello the Bear Pit TV fans, Jack Reeve, Chris Reeve coming over from Talk Norwich City today, and Elliot has asked us to do a little video about Paul Lambert, your new manager. This is a man who we know very well, and for all of the right reasons as well. Paul Lambert was absolutely fantastic for us. Back-to-back promotions into the Premier League, kept us up in the Premier League, and then left for Aston Villa.
Legend.
Thought it was a bigger club. It probably turned out, well, they are a bigger club, but the achievements he had there weren't so great. And since then, he's struggled. Paul Lambert is a man who we hold in incredibly high regard, but looking at Elliot's comments and Stoke fans' comments in general, you don't seem too inspired with this appointment. Paul Lambert, Stoke, they're struggling. Will he be able to keep them up this season?
I think he will, certainly. I don't think it's a stupid move by the Stoke board. I can understand why Stoke fans are disgruntled, because obviously they're more than capable of getting a manager of high calibre. Although Paul Lambert will get the best out of your players that aren't performing. He really will, and that's what he did. He did very, very well at Norwich, especially the games where you're losing 1-0 or you're drawing 1-1 and you need to grind out a result. Paul Lambert absolutely does that. The one thing I would say when he was at Norwich is we never ever thought like we were going to give up. We always thought with Paul Lambert in charge we could get something out of the game. Even if we were, say, 2-0 down at half-time, we knew we'd get the equaliser to get a draw. So for me it's an okay appointment. It's always a bit of a mystery with Norwich fans. I don't know about you, Jack, but how has Paul Lambert not succeeded as much? Because he did keep Aston Villa up in his first season, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
So there you go, Stoke fans. There's some little bit of credibility there. But for me, with Norwich fans, it's always been a mystery because he's been probably one of our best managers in recent years.
In the club's history.
I mean, he took us from League One to the Premier League, very little budget. He's very, very good at working with younger players as well, so that's something to be aware of. And particularly good at using and utilising your experienced players effectively. So not just throwing them off on the sidelines and just dealing with the talent. He can get the best out of pretty much each different section of a squad.
I mean, I suppose the big thing here is the fact that when he came to Norwich City, we were struggling in League One. So the expectation levels of Norwich fans at the time were much less of those of Stoke fans right now. And admittedly, you guys probably aren't expecting tons from this season, but relegation would be an absolute disaster considering how long you guys have been in the Premier League and the squad you've got as well. You've still got a very good squad. And like Chris said, Paul Lambert is a man who we all know for galvanising squads, bringing everyone together, creating that club spirit that is so important in football nowadays. It's more than just what you see on the pitch, it's off the pitch as well. He revolutionised the way Norwich City played, and that revolutionised the way that Norwich City fans looked at the club in general. But, like you say, Lambert, since Norwich, hasn't done much. Is it down to maybe the slight lack of support from boards? I mean, you look at Villa; they've struggled.
Yeah, Blackburn as well, similar situation. I think the guy's been quite unlucky, to be fair. I do. I think look, I think he'll do well at Stoke, and I think one of the things that you obviously don't want to start thinking about now. So forgive me for saying it, but say worst comes to worst, Stoke City do get relegated into the Championship. Paul Lambert is at the high-end Championship manager, and he would certainly get you out of that league. He's more than capable.
But you can also sympathise with Stoke fans in the fact that this isn't the most inspiring appointment ever.
Let me put it this way. Paul Lambert and his agent will be rubbing his hands together, thank you very much, considering that he was eyeing a move to Norwich and Fulham literally just a couple of months ago. So, Stoke, you've got him now. Back him. One thing I will say is he does know how to get the fans on side. You will get a couple of good victories, hopefully, in the next few games.
I mean, yeah, that's hopefully installed some positivity in you, but don't blame us if it all goes wrong. Paul Lambert, though, for us, was brilliant. Of course, we've got a slightly biased viewpoint on this. Hopefully, it all goes well for you, and we won't be seeing you in the Championship next season. And instead, let's hope that Daniel Farke gets us promoted, and we'll be back at the Britannia next season for a Premier League clash. Anyway, Paul Lambert, let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you want to follow some Norwich City videos for whatever reason, Talk Norwich City, links in the description. See you then. Bye-bye.
Cheers, lads. That has been the Talk Norwich City boys. Make sure you do go and subscribe to their channel if you want to see some Norwich content. The link will be in the description. Let me know what you think of Paul Lambert so far, his comments in the press conference, and also what you've made of the new managerial appointment. Do make sure you like, share and subscribe this video. We'll see you later.